Peter, you ready?
Yep.
You ready, bro? Because we're gonna take a good one here, man. Welcome to another episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I'm your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Gligoski. Today we're going to be taking a look at 88 Films' release of The Postman Fights Back.
Before we talk about all the good stuff we do on this channel, I'd like to give a massive shout out to MVD Entertainment Group for providing us a review copy of this release that comes out on Tuesday, September 12th, man. They've been amazing supporters of the channel, of our social media accounts, and they're always showing a lot of love. Like I always say, show me some love and I'll show you guys some love right back. So, before we get into details with the film, there's something that me and Peter spoke about in terms of when it comes to different opinions of films that you might like and the other one doesn't like. One thing I love about social media is that I get different perspective of films. This Ronny Yu film in particular, even though I gave it a solid rating on Letterboxd, I wasn't too much of a big fan of the beginning, but it's something that I emphasize how beautiful this film looks. Like the locations, like it was shot in Peter, it was shot in South Korea and Hong Kong, right?
Yes.
So I emphasized that, but after we had a conversation via text yesterday, you honed it in with the journey aspect of every Lord of the Rings like. And I viewed the film again today before we did this video, and it clicked. It clicked very well, and that's the thing, people. You guys should understand, when you see somebody's opinion, don't take it like, oh, you're bugging out, or how dare you like this film that you consider bad yourself. Watch it again from their perspective and see how that viewing becomes. So yeah, that's how you guys should view reviews or anything in that matter. But like I emphasized, this film looks very beautiful, and it's an interesting journey that, even though me and Peter agree on this aspect, like it's kind of weak, but it's a freaking fun film, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, more to your point too, like I kind of glossed over the narrative shortcomings because I guess I was taking in the action and all that, but looking back, there are weaknesses in the characterization of the cast and all that, but after the midway point, I mean, the movie it escalates really well, and the action keeps ramping up, and it's a bonkers finale.
Yeah, and to get us out of the way, this is very similar structure to Magic Cop that I review on this channel, which is a slow burn in the beginning, but Magic Cop did it better with his humor and just how good the characters are. And it's something this film sort of lacks, because how standout Chow Yun-Fat is. Before I go into character specifics and action choreography, Peter, what's the story about for the people who have not seen this film?
So it's a little hard to sum up because there's some historical context. This takes place in the very early Republic of China days, so we're not even sure if it's in the 19-teens or 1920s, but essentially Leung, aka Beardy, is a postman who delivers mail across country lines, whatever. And a friend of his, G, played by Simon Yun, essentially gets him involved in this big scheme where they're delivering these secret locked packages to the Emperor Zhao Long, sorry. And they have to assemble a team to do this because it's an arduous journey that's going to take a week, and they don't know why they are, and then it ends up being some rebels are involved, and then so on and so forth. The journey unfolds over time.
Right, and again, like I mentioned earlier, what makes this journey very makes it very engaged when you're watching it is the locations they pick. And it's a beautiful Maui, and it's, mountains, outdoors, very nature heavy and snowy, and it looks amazing. It feels like a very big budget film.
Yeah, the snow scenes in particular. I mean, they were like really out there too, and you could see them, they're like freezing while doing their lines and whatnot, and it gives the moment to moment sequences a lot of variety. You know, you're not just constantly looking at the Browns from the beginning, and it does feel like it's a progression. Maybe there's some kind of psychoanalysis you could do about like the state of the characters or whatever, but I'm not really into color theory and all that. But still, it's at least diverse.
Right. And now you mentioned characters. This is the one that we had issues with in this film. And if you guys never seen this, if you look at the previous releases over the past few decades of this film, they put Chow Yun-Fat as the prominent figure in this cover, of course, to capitalize his stardom and all that. But he's not the lead actor in this film. Who's the lead actor in this film?
It's Leung, who everyone knows as Beardy, and he's been in Knockabout, The Victim, and a ton of Golden Harvest movies. At the time, Chow Yun-Fat was actually considered box office poison. You know, he had been in a bunch of bombs, and I guess this might have been the turning point in his career. I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the turning point in his career. I haven't heard the commentary yet. I haven't had time.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, this release comes with 2 cuts, and we're going to get into that later with the special features and everything. But what's interesting is Beardy is the lead, but Chow Yun-Fat is the one that stands out more.
And even Fan Mei Xiang, who people know as the Drunken Master from Magnificent Butcher, he has way more of a presence than Beardy even does.
And it's refreshing to see the character he portrays in this film.
Yeah. If you've been following Shout's releases of Shaw films, you'll recognize him from a lot of earlier roles, and he's always like a bumbling idiot. His character doesn't do much and kind of screws up the plot. But in this one, he's very confident. He's got lots of power. He's not someone you could screw around with, and it's nice to see him play against type.
And what's great about this, and also kind of bummed me out, because he's a really good actor. It shows in this film how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, there's a scene particularly in the late part that we're not going to spoil where there's just a lot of dramatic chops in it.
Yeah, and a film that's based on a crew of these individuals, they don't feel like a crew. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like
that's the weakest aspect too. And even on, it seems like all these characters should be cool because like they have distinct clothing and some kind of characteristic that sets them apart, but then they don't spend that much time together, and most of their fight scenes are separated.
That's the thing, yeah. Like again, it's very individualistic in this film, and Chow Yun-Fat has the most interesting backstory. He feels like a Western cowboy, like I mentioned to you before we started recording, of Clint Eastwood, like the character with no name, because you want to know more about him because he gets more depth than anybody else in this film, besides Eddie Cole character that plays Shu, and he's amazing. Very, I swear, I'm like, wow, this is the prequel to Duel to the Death. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, there's one. If
if
you're familiar with Ronny Yu's American work, he did a lot of horror films. Like I think it's Bride of Chucky, and then Freddy vs. Jason. There's one scene in this movie where Eddie Ko is hiding, and there's like hand pops out of the ground, and it's interesting to see that like very early take on horror. Even the film doesn't ever stay with that tone, but it's clearly going for it right at that moment.
Exactly, but going back, like I feel like those are the two characters that stood out in this film with their depth. And again, Birdie's the lead, but it's so vanilla. He's so thin.
Yeah, he has a romantic interest, I guess. During the beginning, he delivers mail to the granddaughter of some woman who had just recently passed, and then this lady just comes along with him. She's played by Sherry Chung, and that's really it. That's like about as far as it goes. Like she follows them. There's some events that transpire, and I guess inspire the name of the movie. But I don't know. Like Beardy is just kind of there.
But looking at the details of this film, they had a whole bunch of script writers, so I don't know what's going on because, again, like the film feels kind of grounded, but then you start seeing the people they encounter, and it turns into like straight up kung fu madness. I mean, it's very reminiscent, like I said, of Duel to the Death. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the fights in this joint. So you guys already heard, the journey, how it looks, how it makes you, it makes you like you're in this world, how beautiful it's shot. But what makes this journey worth it? Because it feels like you're in a journey watching this film the way the start is.
Yeah, it's very long start.
Yeah. When you get the fights, I did not expect these type of fights. And it feels very much like a game. You're not going to get all three of them. Oh, these guys, swords, fighting. No, you're going to get unique characters that stood out. One that stood out is you have these two guys that was there's hunting Chow Yun-Fat's character. And you see them separated. And when they finally encounter him, he has his homeboy like in a backpack of some sorts.
And he's like wheelbarrowing him.
Yeah, so he's fighting. Just you guys gonna visualize because I'm playing a video clip right now. You got homeboy in a backpack, doesn't get off right away, and he's fighting with him in his backpack, and his boy is doing attacks as well. And that's something that gets presented throughout the film. Very unique styles are happening.
Yeah, and then at one point he like ducks down and the dude just launches into Chow Yun-Fat. And it's like
that fight, which was a little longer, but you start getting different variation of style, and that's thanks to Eddie Cole, who has, oh my god, wow, ninja-looking type outfit. And yeah, Chow Yun-Fat even has like a freaking dart gadget of sorts.
Yeah, he's got like an Assassin's Creed kind of gun thing under there. But I mean, it shoots darts, obviously, not bullets.
Yeah, but I wish we saw more of that. Again, this film is so individual heavy. It feels like a separate film because he looks like he's in a different universe.
Yeah, and even that backstory for Chow Yun-Fat's character where I don't know who these assassins were sent by, per se, but they're hunting him for whatever reason. That sounds like another movie unto itself.
Yeah, like I said, I was more fascinated with Chow Yun-Fat's character than anybody else in this film, and also Eddie Cole, man. Like that last fight is, and I already mentioned this like 3 or 4 times, very much like Duel to the Death.
Yeah, it's set out in a forest, which, interestingly enough, I kind of wonder if the Mortal Kombat movie copied that setting, where Scorpion's fighting Johnny Cage. I know it's just a forest, but the way everything's set up and like they're playing cat and mouse, like it feels like that could have been inspired by this movie.
Probably, and but that ending sequence, because that's the end, and we're not really spoiling anything because
we're not gonna spoil anything. But I was like, it's a very final shot.
We mentioned this in a previous video. In typical Hong Kong fashion, nobody is safe, and that's all you need to know. Yeah. So you guys heard us talk about the action, and once again, you'll see some cool gadget stuff, some good setups and traps here and there. But the picture quality of this film, Peter, what do you thought of the picture quality of this film? Because I actually was impressed with this one.
Yeah, at first we looked at some comparisons with the DVD, and I was like, oh god, this is gonna be like a DVD master, isn't it? But I think it's more just the color scheme matches the DVD one, like, because in terms of detail and like clarity, this is really good. 88's website says brand new 2K restoration, and I definitely believe it. I think it's just that it was graded properly, so it doesn't at first look like a dramatic difference.
Right, because I have the Hong Kong Legends DVD. Like, I didn't get a chance to rip it, but when I saw those pictures, and when I played it, like when I first saw the pictures, I'm going like, okay, it looks like the DVD in terms of color. But I said, let me see how it looks in my TV. And when I saw it, I'm like, great freaking job, man. It's very sharp. No helmets.
Yeah, there's actual hair that you can see.
Yeah, and the Reds look fantastic, especially when they're like at night when he's talking to his girlfriend and you see the little fire happening. It looks great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's like a few oddities where in some dark scenes, I think because they wanted to keep the grain, you could kind of see like outlines on the edges. But in the spots where they like really done the restoration, there's an opening shot of these two rabbits in the snow, and it's just like, holy hell, like that is sharp as hell.
Yeah, the daytime scenes stand the hell out.
Yeah, most of the very light ones. I mean, not that the dark scenes are bad. There is one strange change where he's leaving a house at night and like it's got a blue filter. It's probably a day for night shot. But any of the oddities, they're just kind of inherent to these Hong Kong films. Like you'll see some anamorphic warping and a few shots that are maybe not focused, but I can't really knock the transfer for that.
Yeah, I mean, you see that with films from that time, even like, you know, like I looked at a lot of Italian films as of late, and you see some weird, like, you know, aperture things happening. So that's to do with the tech of the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
otherwise, the transfer is very, very, very good.
Like, I really enjoyed the way this film looks, and the audio is good. It wasn't harsh or muffled.
I know that's not the best phrase ever, but you know, it was good. It's not, like you said, it's not harsh. There's no tinniness to it. Some things sound muffled, but you know, the movie's 40 years old, so.
Yeah, so again, it's probably what, you know, with that track, but it sounds great. You know, it's not like other ones where I'm like, oh my god, this thing is muffled or bassy.
Yeah, or harsh or anything. Like it sounds era appropriate.
Right, but one thing to know is that this film comes with two cuts. It comes with a Hong Kong cut that's 90 minutes and the English cut, which is 89 minutes.
Yeah, which sounds like, oh man, you're missing a whole movie there.
Yeah, you know, and the English dub is there, so I thought like, oh, probably the Hong Kong cut had an English dub. No, the English dub is on the export cut, and it's like they like cut some weird scenes or something like that, like you mentioned, because I didn't get to see the English cut at all.
I mean, yeah, I didn't watch it either, but I looked on moviecensorship.com, and it seems like, I don't know if it was even cut. People are saying that the export version was what was sold in Hong Kong for many years. So it seems like maybe this is just finally the uncut version. Like the scenes are like Beardy in a restaurant, and then there's some shots of violence that are back, but they're like seconds long, so.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know, I didn't get to see it, but I know the export cut has the English mono and English 5.1 DTS track. I ain't get to check that out, but you know, I enjoy the movie. I'm probably gonna skip the beginning and just get to the midpoint.
Speed up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, then and check out how the 5.1 sounds like. But yeah, because it has what is this? Oh yeah, it's like an alternate score. There's some good stuff in here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I know it probably has the alternate credits too. In, I guess, the UK markets, this was called Messenger of Death.
Right.
Because of course it was.
But it has two audio commentary tracks.
It technically has three because the export cut has one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the Hong Kong one, you get a brand new commentary with Frank Zhang and the director Ronny Yu, and then there's an old commentary with Frank Zhang. I don't know if that's from the Hong Kong Legends or maybe like a Tai Sang release. I'm not sure. And then on the export cut, it says audio commentary with Stephen Hammond.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's three commentaries, but two of them are on one cut of the movie.
Right, and it also has a whole bunch of interviews.
Yeah, it says archive interview with Chow Yun-Fat, a couple with Leung, an archived interview with Ronny Yu, and then a brand new one with that fat samurai guy and Ronny Yu.
Like I told you, like we were talking, if you guys don't know who the fat samurai is, he's like a action film YouTuber, you know, and I tell people like, yo, that's my. If I had an uncle that was into action films as heavy as my homeboy, that would be it. Dude was very energetic, exciting, and you could relate to him. He looks like a fans reviewer, not like a film journalist or any of those individuals who are film enthusiasts that like to do video essays and talk about the reason the lighting is like this in this Vicky Jaworski film is imitating his childhood. No, he's just all hype and amazing. I'm gonna link his YouTube channel in the description. Definitely check him out. And I didn't get to see that interview because we're doing so many reviews, but I know it's gonna be good because he's the man. The Fast Samurai is that guy, you know. But other than that, this is a good release. I wish it came with a booklet because me and you were talking about this, and 88 Films had like they were asking fans' opinion about what we think about these slim cases, and the community as a whole loves these slim cases. I enjoy them. Peter, what do you think of these slim cases?
Yeah, I really, because, you know, there's a ton of Hong Kong movies, so if you were to have every single one, your shelf would have thousands of freaking discs. So having the case be just a bit slimmer, I think that'll help with building bigger collections. I just kind of wish they didn't skimp on the booklet, you know, like I like reading someone's interpretation of the film or even getting background information that a commentary can't cover.
Yeah, especially the historical context and stuff. Probably that's mentioned in the commentary, like, you know.
I'm sure Frank Jang, mentions it.
Yeah, most likely he probably does. But again, I like different people's perspective. Like, the way we started this video, like, I had a different view of the beginning compared to you. I started watching it from your perspective on that aspect of the film. But, you know, I was thinking they probably won't, you know, oh, we're not going to do no book essays for certain films. What's the point of having these big ass cases? But then we started talking before we recorded this video and started thinking like, wait a minute, they could fit a booklet in here. Because I remember the Chinese boxer has a thick case, but it came with a slim booklet. So I said, let me see something. So I put the slim booklet on this thin case and with the poster still in there, and it fits just nice with the poster in there.
That's what I said to you. I was like, they could easily fit just a slim booklet. I mean, for Chinese boxer specifically, there's no mention of what restoration happened, probably because it was just the Celestial Master. But probably. You know, like, you don't need that information per se.
You know, and this book is like what? Like, I'm looking at it right now. It's 14 pages of writing, and the last 5 pages is pictures. So 14 pages could cover a lot of info.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, I mean, not all the pages have it. There's like a few gaps here and there, but there's a lot of written stuff in this booklet, and it's 14 pages of information here. You know, so they easily could do book essays with some cases. So yeah, but other than that, what do you think, Peter?
I definitely really enjoyed the movie. I always wanted to watch it years ago, and I missed out on the old Fox Fortune Star DVD. So I'm happy there's finally, I guess, an uncut version or a complete version, whichever. And, you know, the disc looks great, so it's an easy recommendation.
Yeah. Like, I have the Hong Kong Legends DVD, but every time I started it, I'm like, oh, I want to watch something else. But I still say it's a buy. It's definitely a buy.
And like these DVD or Blu-rays rather are $20 on Amazon. I mean, that's not a bad price at all.
And it's very refreshing to see Chow Yun-Fat play a character like this, and just the movie looks very unique.
Yeah, it's certainly different from the era. Like, a lot of that era was going to modern in Golden Harvest, and Shaw Brothers was like way in the past. So this one's like a semi-recent past. I mean, it wouldn't be recent now, but
yeah, I definitely like the look of the film. You know, it wasn't something where you see something from the Qing Dynasty or something like that, like you mentioned, and it wasn't something like it was like screw the Japanese, anything like that. No, it
wasn't very nationalistic.
And with that said, man, as always, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, peace.